How to use the meta against the meta. And I know what you're thinking, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But listen in, this is going to be a treat. First, let's explain how the meta forms. And I'm going to do so by incorporating a little example of rock, paper, scissors, which is a balanced game, unlike Clash Royale, and that's why this example works. So we have rock, paper, and scissors. Rock beats scissors every time. Scissors beats paper, paper beats rock. And because of that, it doesn't really matter what you pick at the beginning of the game, because your opponent, they don't know what you're picking, you don't know what they're picking. There's a randomization in there, and whatever happens, happens, and the matchup just unfolds from there. The winner is the winner, the loser is the loser. But let's say someone, Supercell, were to buff the scissors. So now scissors beats paper every single time, but also has a 20% chance of also beating rock. Of course, you would say, if it was the beginning of the game, okay, I'm going to take scissors every single time. And this is kind of how the meta forms. People start saying, oh, scissors is the best, let me start playing that. But then what you have to keep in mind after you pick scissors every single time, your opponent's going to say, wait, he's just going to go scissors again, so let me play rock. So now scissors was initially played more than a third of the time, but now rock has to be played more to counter the scissors. And then if rock's being played enough to counter the scissors, then paper gets reintroduced back in. And this is how the meta forms. It's a constant give and take between what's powerful, what counters what's powerful, and then what counters the counter of what's powerful. And this is what we have to think about in Clash Royale, which is infinitely more complex than rock, paper, scissors, when we're trying to pick a deck and a strategy that'll work for us. Recently, two of the top decks that I've been facing all of the time have been Goblin Drill and Graveyard. And obviously this is because of two recent buffs. The Goblin Demolisher buff, absolutely huge. The new Drill Evo buff, massive. And then of course the new Graveyard spawn density has just been clapping my cheeks. So these are some very powerful cards. So you would think to yourself, oh, you know what this is going to do? It's going to improve cards like Valkyrie, maybe Poison, and things like that. But let's dig a layer deeper and try to come up with the perfect deck that not only looks at what is the good counter to all these new overpowered cards, but what is a third party that nobody's thinking of that happens to counter everything and its counters. And that, I think, is the key to getting the nastiest, most calculated Clash Royale deck in 2026. So these are the two decks that we're looking to counter. We have the giant smelly Graveyard, and of course we have the Goblin Demolisher Goblin Drill deck. But not only that, we also want to counter any decks that are created simply to counter these. So there's sort of three elements that we're throwing into the mix. We're going to build this deck sort of backwards, but trust me, it's gonna work out. So first, I'm thinking of spells. So we have Graveyard here, and we have Goblin Drill here. So we're definitely going to want a small spell. And since there's a giant smelly here, I feel like having the Evo Snowball will be very important. It'll be nice to just be able to suck this up off my tower if he ever connects. It'll be good against Graveyard and then decent against Drill and some of this other stuff. So I'm just going to start off by immediately picking Snow Job. I think that's going to be good. And sort of as my secondary spell that's not really a spell, since this isn't quite a log, I'm just going to take E-Spirit as well because it's so good against Graveyard and it's pretty good against Drill. So just having that in there is just going to be amazing. It's not like Skeletons or anything where you can get a curse. You can't really poison it. It's just going to be a fantastic card. I think it's one of the most overpowered cards in the game. And then I'm also thinking, okay, they're going to have Evo Furnace, Zappies, Goblin Demolisher. Like, I'm going to want a Fireball in here. I think it's the most efficient spell. So these are sort of like my three spells almost, which sounds like a lot, but you sort of need that when you're playing against Graveyard and Drill. So these are the spells. So the next step I would say would be we need some troops that are going to stop the Drill and Graveyard directly. But not only that, I want troops that are not affected by these deck spells whatsoever. So everything is affected by Giant Snowball, so we're kind of going to ignore that for the moment. But this guy's got Poison, and this guy's got Curse. So what I want to do is pick Graveyard Defenders that don't get cursed and don't get poison. So we don't want like Bats or Goblin Gang or Skarmy, anything like that. And I think I have two cards in mind that will be disgusting. Golden Knight with his ability will destroy all of the skeletons or all of the goblins, and Bowler is a big meaty tank. and neither of these cards care about a poison or a curse whatsoever. I invite them to poison my bowler and take off a tenth of his health for 4 elixir when the bowler only costs 5. So we have sort of the scraps of a deck. Now we just have to tie a little bow on this, pick a little win condition, get a little support, and I think we'll be in a really nice position. Thinking about win conditions, there's a couple things running through my head, but I think what I'm leaning on is actually X-Bow, believe it or not. The only big spell in here is Poison, which is not fantastic against X-Bow, especially if we don't have archers or skeletons or anything like that. And also, the only real threat, well, if you look at the Furnace and the Zappies and the Goblin Hut, yes, they're annoying, but I can Fireball them because I have that in my deck. It's really the Giant Smelly that's the issue. But if you invest 6 elixir in a Giant Smelly, and I can use my Evo Snowball for 2 elixir to suck it up and get a lock on the tower, I think we're going to beat you every single time. So I think X-Bow, believe it or not, is actually a disgusting combo. And when you also think about what are other decks going to use to counter these things, they're going to have Poison every single time to stop this guy's graveyard. And they're going to have more like ground and swarm units to stop the drill, but nothing like an executioner or a musketeer or something that is ranged and can snipe down my X-Bow. So I think this will actually be the perfect win condition. And then sort of just to round out this deck, I think a Tesla is always good. A secondary building, nice Evo, obviously supports the X-Bow well. And that just leaves us with one remaining card to pick from. Now for the last card to round out this deck, I think we need a little more air defense, and this deck typically would have archers if we're playing regular X-Bow, but like I said before, I don't want anything that can get cursed snowballed and turned into goblins, and I don't want poison to get any value whatsoever, which archers is the definition of poison value. But since we want some air defense, I think a Mega Minion will hold down the fort quite nicely. So we have Tesla and Mega Minion for the air. We have no swarm cards, but we have Golden Knight and Bowler to hold down the ground. Evo Snowball to help defend and get our X-Bow connections. And I think this rounds out our deck beautifully. It should counter not only the 2 top decks in the meta, but a lot of the other decks that have poison in order to counter the graveyard and the other things to counter the drill. So I think this is actually the top meta countering deck, but we're going to take it for a spin in a couple classic challenges. I'll cut out all the games until I play the matchups we want. I'll do 2 to 3 of each, and we'll see how this deck performs after we calculated exactly what deck is best in this beautiful, complex game of rock, paper, scissors. Alright, Strix is our first, not even opponent, but victim. Let's hope he's got one of the smelly little meta decks that we think he does. I'm going to go with a Snow Job off rip, and he has a Fire Spirit, which is a good sign that he has Drill, I'm not going to lie. Skeletons, I think, might be in the deck. That definitely is. Let's see if he goes with a Goblin Demolisher, a Poison, a Drill. Show me the sugar, buddy, and I will tickle you sideways. This is going to be so... Yep, he has got it. All right. This hardly took any time at all, might I add. Let's go for our Golden Knight here. This is perfect. I mean, he can't use any spells here. Oh, I messed up my E-Spirit placement, so he's actually going to get some nice splash there that we just kind of gave him for free, which is very unfortunate. Nice little bowler knockback there, and we're already going in with our first X-Bow. This is going to be tough for him to stop. This is going to be really tough. I'm going to go with my Golden Knight ability. Oh, we're going to grab that so fast. Wow. I think we already get a huge lock here. We might just get a huge lock. Let's rip our Snowball. Okay, I just completely missed, which is obviously not what we wanted. But the X-Bow's so strong, and it breaks right on through everything. Come on, get there. And we get one shot on the tower, which is perfect. This guy's already cooked. So, my spectator seems to be upset. He doesn't know he doesn't understand what's going on here. He doesn't know that, yes, that looked bad because we're down on damage, and I gave him a little connection. But now I have the Evo Snowball. So he should be pretty darn cooked here. He's also down quite a bit of elixir, as you can tell, because we have so much on the field here. I can go with an X-Bow here. You can't really poison. It's just not going to be valuable to you. So I see why he's not doing it. That's going to get destroyed by my Bowler and my Mega Minion, which is why we have it there. Wow, he's actually getting really lucky with that splash damage. I can't believe it. So let's just hold on to the Snow Job. Another cannon gets milked out. We'll just wait very patiently here. And once we get all of our spells in order, this guy should be pretty cooked. Let's just go with a Tesla here. It's just worth it to have that. And we also cycle the Evo. and then I can just build up a nice slow bowler from the back, and he should eventually get tickled. He's playing this pretty tactically, but you can only do so much. You can only do so much when you're hard countered. All right, E-Spirit there. Bowler should clean up, I'm hoping. Let's get our Mega Minion. Mega Minion is just going to give him so many issues because he has so many ground cards that can't do anything about air. Okay, this, I think, is where things get gross, fellas. That's a nasty poison that he uses to protect. We still have the Snow Job. I'm going to use it here. I think I might have missed the Knight. Okay, no, we got the lock. Huge. Let's go with our Bowler here. I don't know what that little drill was for. Okay, he goes with his Evo Snow Job as well. Let's get our E-Spirit in there. Nice. And yeah, that's a really good connection. Really good connection. We still have stuff there. So I might as well go in for another Expo and then probably just Tesla here. We'll see if he gets another poison off. I could also Fireball. I think I'll just wait patiently, like the good little boy I am, and we'll see what happens. Let's Snowball here. Yep, misplaced that. That is huge. Let's get a Golden Knight down and then rip the ability, and maybe that gets on tower. Okay, not quite, but the Expo locks a little bit. Golden Knight's looking good. This is still a sweaty little game, and he's finding a way to still get some value out of the poison, but man, it's tough because the Mega Minion, like the Bowler, there's just not much for him to use. And the Bowler is going to shoot right on through there. This is a fantastic defense, and he's going to struggle here. I'm going to go Expo here, and he's going to think he can get away with a cannon on the opposite side. I'm going to go Golden Knight, predict it, rip it with the ability, and then just destroy him, and that's good game. You just lost, my friend. I would be so surprised if you can defend this. All right, goes with the Goblin Demolisher over there. Let's just rip a Fireball. It's going to kill it super quick, and I think the Expo will lock on. Does get another cannon down. Bowler might get a shot, though. Expo locked a little bit, and the Bowler does get a big shot, which is absolutely huge. Let's get another one down. Let's go for another Expo. He can Spell Cycle, but I can too. Let's get our Golden Knight where we want him. Poison's probably coming down soon. Let's ability. Not let that Goblin do anything, and this is where things get good. We can quickly Fireball to kill that immediately, and then we might get a lock on this Expo. It's going to be close. Okay, maybe not. Let's get a Bowler down here. Get him planted. Very nice Bowler there. Okay, another poison. This is still a sweaty game. Don't get me wrong. Still a sweaty game, but I think we got him. I think we got him. Cannon on the left, please. Doesn't even go for it. Wow, okay. I'm going to go with a Tesla here. Gotta just zap that Goblin. Okay, nice, and we got the lock, and we cry in his little face. That's exactly what we're looking to do. The poison struggled, and man, they rely on the poison so hard. Once the Expo locked, it was over. Let's keep going. I mean, I'll keep playing. Anytime I see one of these decks, I'll pop back in. All right, Weeaboo Jones. With the Graveyard in his profile, this has got to be our guy. Let's go with a Mega Minion in the back. I've been playing for like an hour now, just waiting to get this. Oh, and there's the Spear Hut. I think we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is our little schmuck right here. All right, Tesla's not going to reach. Let's just go for a Tesla here. I don't want to get too excited. Oh, it's the deck. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Fire me up. Okay. Nice E-Spirit there. Let's rip our Fireball. We have the Fireball for the Furnace and the Zappies, but for the Furnace, grab that Spirit. Nice. Grab everything. Yup, there it is. Perfect. He's got everything we want him to have. We'll go with our nice little Golden Knight there, and that's going to defend everything. Okay, here's the game plan, fellas. Let's see if he goes Zappies here, or Spear Hut. What I want to do... Berserker. Oh, it's perfect. It's the textbook deck. Since he doesn't have a giant Skeleton in his hand, I think I'm just going to Expo immediately, and we'll see what we can grab with our Bowler. Spear Hut in the middle, maybe? Oh, why would you let that connect? What's your game plan here, buddy? Spear Hut, and then a Zap. Okay, so the Zap was smart, but I still think you are pretty pooped on here, my friend, because if I go Mega Minion to kill these, if you don't get this giant Skelly down in the next 2 seconds, okay, you got it down. Solid, but I think we still burn right through it, and then we can just cycle back. So the whole point of the first giant Smelly being bad was because I could get an Expo down before you could cycle back to it, and now you just gave me the same opportunity again. Tell me that doesn't hit. Please don't hit. Oh, it's gonna hit, isn't it? I just let a full giant Skeleton Bomb hit. Okay, that's not ideal. That's 1,000 damage for free, but it's fine. I think we'll go with an Expo here. We should be able to get a lock out of this one. I think we can get a good lock. We'll see if he goes Zappies. Okay, Berserker there is fine. I'm going to let the Golden Knight absorb one, and then we'll rip the ability. And I could Fireball here. I think that's going to be the move. Something's got to break, right? Yes, Expo lock. Zappies are going to reset, but we got a lot of damage there. All right, so we let a giant Skelly connect essentially for free, which is not ideal. but we're still looking pretty good. And we haven't even used the Evo Snow Job, which is like the whole point of this deck. So I think what we'll do is just load up a nice Tesla here. Yeah, let's go Tesla here. Let's get our Fireball ready to get some good value. That might slip through. Okay, I'll Snow Job here. Yeah, the bowler shots are huge. The bowler... Oh, we actually sent that opposite lane, which is not exactly what I wanted. Wow, that's actually perfect for him. And let's go with an E-Spirit here, which is why we have E-Spirit. Goes for a cheeky curse, but there's nothing to curse. That's why I built this deck this way. And we actually get through a nasty defense. And we've now cycled our Evos pretty nicely. I'm going to go for a Snow Job here. Just going to clean that up a little bit. And we look to be in a wonderful position here. I'm going to go with a bowler like this. If you want to go in with anything, yeah, I think I'm just ready. For whatever you have. Let's go for this. Let's get our Golden Knight there. I'll pop the ability, and then I will go with a little E-Spirit as well. Pretty solid defending there. Okay, I'll take it. And now that I have... I think I'll just attack on this lane. Why not? I assume he's going to go Spear Hut. Okay, let's get Mega Minion down to tank. And if he goes for his Giant Smelly, I mean, I will just suck it away with its Snowball. So, I don't know. This is going to be tricky for him to stop because I have a lot going on here. Here it is. I think... Wait, the Zappy has to die? Oh, we got the lock, and that is exactly what we want. Okay, wait, that's fine. That's still fine. We'll go for a Fireball here. We might get a relock immediately, but I'm definitely going to go in for another Graveyard. Okay, I'll just wait a second. Don't give him any curse value. There's nothing to curse, buddy. How do you not know that? Now we have Snowball. Perfect. And honestly, I can even Spell Cycle with this deck. So there's a lot of options here to win. I think I want to do that, to be honest. Okay, no. Now we go in for this here. I like that. We'll see if he gets his Spear Hut down or Zappies or something. I do have Fireball if I need it. Let's get a Bowler down. Let's get our Golden Knight. Okay, that could be a good Golden Knight. We'll see. Oh, yeah, that's juicy. That's juicy. Okay, Expo's still looking really healthy there. He cannot really push out of this. And I can go with another Expo here. Giant Smelly's not too bad of a threat there. Let's go for a Tesla here. Oh, I like this a lot. I'm going to Fireball those Zappies just to get rid of them. Okay, that was a really bad Fireball. Only took down 2 of them. Goblin Curse for what, buddy? Great Golden Knight ability. And I think the spell cycle should begin soon. Okay, let's just get a Bowler loaded. Okay, that's fine. He's actually playing this pretty darn well. Where's the Graveyard? There it is. Let's go with an early Snowball. And then one of these. Let's get our Golden Knight. Okay, nice Evo Zap. And yeah, let's go with a Fireball here. Okay, not too bad. Let's get our Golden Knight to kill that Furnace. Wow, we got a little extra splash damage there somehow. Okay, he has to go for the Graveyard here. Gotta get our Bowler down. Evo Snow this back. And somehow we secure the win against the disgusting little schmuck after I gave him an entire giant Skelly Bomb. So if you think about how much damage he really did that game, it was more like 1,000 because, I don't know, I just gave it to him for free. But that, my friends, is exactly what we want against a schmuck like that. We defended the Graveyard so beautifully the entire game, and we got a couple Expo locks. Also, that guy had Zap instead of Snowball, which he used. I had a game-winning lock. He used it to reset my Expo. But if he had Snowball, it would have been even easier. So if we can beat the hardest variant of the best deck, we're going to win every single time. I think I need to complete a challenge with this deck so you guys believe me. But my Nelly did that butter my biscuit.